This podcast is not rated. Listener discretion advised.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching the best movies ever made in the history of films, according to IMDb. You can go to our website, mission250filmcast.com, where the list is frozen. You can see what episodes are coming up next. I am one of your hosts, Jenny, and joining me are
John
and TC.
And this week, we are watching number 121, which is the 1963 movie, The Nice Try, Better Luck Next Time Escape.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh, well, not going to have it next time when you're massacred, are ya?
No, maybe not. Not for those guys.
Nope.
Nice try. Should have tried harder.
Really, I thought we were switching to audio, so I just listened to Moby's The Great Escape over and over again. Thought it was Sarah McLachlan that did that, you know. Had from his album 18, got a 2.6 on Pitchfork. Really bothered the reviewer that Moby had sold out, basically, I guess. But anyway,
Whack Moby.
That's a whole other tragedy that we don't have to
I'm
talk
glad
about.
you're still following Moby, though. Somebody is.
Yeah. Whack
That's a
Moby.
good thing.
And there's also a terrible song called The Great Escape by, I think Girls Like Boys is the band. Boys Like Girls.
There's also a
That's
really
right.
hard board game that was Play-Doh based back in the 90s called The Grape Escape. Couldn't figure out how to play that one
The
for
Grape Escape.
very long.
What?
All the
Did it
Play-Doh and
involve
hard
fruit?
Yeah,
Is
you
it
had
a
to
wine,
you built little,
related game?
You were little grape characters, and if you landed on the wrong spot, you get splatted. You'd get smushed into the board.
The Grape Escape.
Oh,
Yeah, we ended up just eating the Play-Doh and calling it a day.
nice and tragic
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
But we are watching this classic movie directed by John Sturges. The synopsis is, Allied prisoners of war plan for several hundred of their number to escape from a German camp during World War II.
Otherwise known as a cutesy film with a bunch of actors in a place that would never have happened.
Except it did.
But it did, TC. But it
But
did.
it did. But not in that way. There's no way.
I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Well,
we can talk about it.
We
I
shall
think you can
discuss
feel
that
where I'm
thing.
going on this
Well,
one.
I mean, it
now.
is your turn to go first, so why don't you...
Carry on. Carry on.
so why don't you
all
tell us
right.
what you think?
Yeah, I could have skipped this one.
Aw.
I thought this one was just too fucking cutesy. I'm sorry. It is like, there's no way a prisoner camp would be like that. I'm sorry. Like, they're just letting them keep trying. Like, you wouldn't be beating the shit out of them by now. I'm sorry, but there's no way that you're escaping and you're trying to, and multiple times, and you're not getting a fucking lashing or two.
That is a good opinion, and I thought the exact same thing. I had a lot of notes, but then reading up on it and watching the commentary, you'd be surprised at how well they were treated for certain reasons.
Wow. I can't buy it.
There
even though
was
it's
like
true.
an idea of like reciprocation they had where if, people got beaten or killed, the assumption was that, the other side would take note and do the exact same thing. So they'd be pretty much killing and beating their own soldiers if they did that to the soldiers.
Except
prison
at some point, they just decided to be crazy because they're Nazis.
Well, the thing is, with the Nazis,
well,
there were like
just
different
like-
tiers of how fucking murderous they were. And the murderous ones, whatever camps they got a hold of, those were the fucking bad camps. But then this one, you have the nice Nazi. He's a very nice Nazi.
Well,
He's a very extremely nice Nazi.
Yeah,
which
he's a good Nazi.
that
That's
goes
also a
against
great
the whole
film.
Nazi
The Good
thing.
Nazi. That was a great film.
Yeah,
It's called The
I
Good
don't
German,
know,
wasn't
man.
it?
Oh, right. Never
Sure,
mind.
but we'll call it Good Nazi.
The one you're thinking of is called the Fancy Nazi. That's the
Yeah. Oh, okay.
1970s.
But I had the same exact thoughts too, Cece. So I'm right with you. I did
Yeah,
look
I had a
up a
bunch of
little
notes, but
bit.
like, no fucking way they're going to let him bring
I'm
the
like, there's
baseball
no
glove
way.
into the...
And yeah, okay, the baseball glove. I got a problem with the baseball
Yes,
glove. No
I
fucking
did too.
chance he's having the baseball glove. Oh yeah, you gotta
Every
put it in
time.
the hole.
Yeah.
No, it's
Oh,
okay.
wait,
It's
dude.
supposed
You
to
can
be a
have the glove.
punishment. Yeah,
I
You can
forgot
have the
my
glove.
baseball glove. Oh, don't worry, champ. We'll get it for you.
We got it, dude. Yeah, no worries, man.
Oh, you're
They're
worried
gonna
about getting
bounce off
bored
the
in there,
wall.
bud? Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that the guard wouldn't come down the hall and go, "Shut the fuck up!"
Yeah.
If you're bouncing the ball the whole time? Man, I'm sorry. I didn't buy
It's like
any of it.
that's like getting sent to your room when you're a kid, but you have like a video game system in your room. So like, all right, fuck you.
Yeah. No, don't worry. The TV's in there. Just turn it on.
I
Just go to
think
your room. Like,
the
fuck
tone
off.
of this movie was really strange. It was sort of happy-go-lucky.
It
in
was
this weird
extremely
way.
happy-go-lucky.
That's what I'm getting at. It doesn't seem
no,
right.
I get that. Even regardless of what these conditions were like people would be caught or captured, and then you'd have the next scene would switch over, and you'd have the happily whistling soldier music.
Oh, I know. It's great, too. And they'd like come up out of nowhere. It's like, hey, champ, hey, how's it going there, sport?
Yeah.
Like, is that what that's what I kept hearing in my head, even those weren't the lines. You know? Like, these guys are skipping around
They're like
in prison
middle school
camp.
basketball
like, hey,
coaches all over the
man,
place.
We're having a great time.
Yeah, all right.
Hey,
Hey, good try there. Good game.
Hey,
That was a
you know,
game
good
there,
try,
right?
good try. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I just thought it was like such a Hollywood version of a serious subject, and it just seemed strange to me.
Yep.
And then obviously I noticed the Shawshank Redemption. You know,
the dirt through the pant legs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Couldn't have been more ripped off. I was like, where have I seen this before? Oh, right.
Well, I'm sure Andy Dufresne probably watched The Great Escape and then was like, that's a good idea, so I'm going to do that too.
Right. I mean, fine. That's cool. But it dawned on me after I was like, I've seen this before. Oh, wait, this one was first. Oh, that's kind of cool. And I was like, this movie's fucking stupid. And I was like, that's like my thought process. Like, I'd have one moment where I'm like, nah, okay, that was all right. And then the next one, I'm like, this movie's so stupid. I thought there was like a lot of good production value, though. I mean, you know, lots of people.
Big time Hollywood,
cool.
big sets.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not Hollywood, though. Filmed in Germany.
Well, no, but I mean.
But it's, you know.
It feels like Hollywood. I mean, it just feels like a Hollywood budget, like kind of a Hollywood heyday movie.
And then get all the
everybody
actors
looked great.
Successful.
Really
right.
Cool
That's what I was going to say, John. That's it. You got it. You nailed it. Like, they all look so good. And you're in prison camp.
You're covered in mud and shit, and you look great, Steve McQueen. You look like a fucking Daniel Craig that's covered in dirt, is what you look like.
Yeah, he did.
Dude, he looks exactly like Daniel Craig.
He did. Holy shit, man.
And you know, what's his name? Attenborough looked like, damn it. What's his name? I'm completely blanking.
I
want to
know because I can't think of who he looks
Gladiator.
Like. Really?
What's his? I haven't thought
Russell
of him
Crowe?
in a long time. Russell Crowe. There it is.
No,
yeah, looks like
I disagree.
Russell Crowe.
I don't think. I don't think so.
You disagree wrongly.
I disagree correctly.
All I kept seeing was Ducky from NCIS on there too, and I'd be like, Ducky, look at you.
Nikki and I both agreed, so that's 2-1.
Oh shit, he's got Nikki on his side. You fucked.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's an instant loss.
She had good vision too. So.
Well, I got a big ass TV, so vision doesn't really matter. I got shitty vision, but a big TV, so
fair.
it cancels each other out.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing like that I hated about the movie. I just saw like this is not accurate. It just was, and that's what it seemed, not knowing the story. So, if you got stuff on it that it makes it more accurate, I guess that's cool.
Like, some of the prisoners said that it captured what life was like in that prison camp, which I was really surprised.
But they could also be lying to themselves, trying to forget how horrible it was.
There were a number of things like that they didn't. Some of the things they didn't cover at all in the film was how like a lot of people didn't want to escape because they were kind of comfortable.
Right.
Really.
Yeah. So that.
I mean, it was kind
of
of cool digging under the ground, but I mean, I can't imagine that actually working either.
It did.
But they did it. Like,
the ending, like some of the story parts are up in the air whether or not it's true. It was all written about in a book, but I find it hard to believe. Like just, because this wasn't described specifically to me, that the first day they're there, the first fucking hour, all like half of them are trying to escape immediately.
Oh yeah,
jumping in the cars.
That was more comedy, really.
Yeah, and that was pretty funny. I thought I was like, this is a silly war movie we got going on here. That's what we're getting into.
Yeah, the whistling, which is why it just when everybody started to get like captured and shot, it was like, but okay.
I thought it made it work more because I was not ready for like people just to get fucking murdered in mass towards the end.
Right. So
I mean, honestly, too, I get that.
Like at one moment, you go, and then they're all dead.
Oh, fuck! Half the characters.
There was
a
moment where I was thinking to myself, "Oh man, none of them make it." I was like, that kind of sucks. I was hoping they'd make it,
Well,
but then I realized after
like
they killed a few, or a couple of them, I think 2 maybe,
2 or 3. Yeah. The Charles Bronson,
the tall dude on the bike, right?
And then the Australian guy made it. I think 3 of them.
But it so some of those other ones were just like, oh man, they really got them good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just, it's just seemed too fantastical to me.
I totally agree.
And
what could the movie? All right, so before we get into that, John, what did you think about this?
Yeah, TC sort of captured. I think it was a strange film to me, and just how happy-go-lucky it seemed, and it was about prison and POWs, and for some reason the drama of it didn't stick very well, even though you had like Charlton Heston's character afraid of tunnels, and that could have been really upsetting.
You call him Charlton Heston?
Is that Charlton Heston?
No, Charles Bronson.
Who was that?
Charles Bronson. Oh my God,
John, you fucking lose 10 points for that. 10 points.
I'm like, isn't that the fucking gun guy?
Yeah, the gun guy, not him.
Charles Bronson, Charlton Heston. You're right. They are different people.
They are totally different people.
Yeah. They're both Chucks.
That's true. That is true.
Chucky boy.
Anyway, I maybe we can edit that out so I don't lose the cred with all my fans.
All of the people who just think that you're a genius when it comes to pulling names out of your ass.
No.
Right.
Someone at home was like, I knew that was Charlton Heston.
I'm just confused.
Never mind.
But anyway, so Bronson, anyway, right?
Yes.
Yep.
his
Making it real hard for me to edit it together, John. Just laughing at yourself. Thanks.
It's all right. I'm an idiot. I know I'm an idiot. It's all right. But there are all kinds of different parts of the film. Even the Scotsman guy who gets killed, and I don't know. It's just so weird how it's handled. The tone of it is so strange.
Well, I really like this movie, guys. I liked it a lot, and I think
good.
Nice.
and what
Good
you're
for you.
describing is why I liked it, and I kind of, for some reason, got over the overly happy tone of it pretty early on, and I just went with it, and I really liked the fact that everyone was so likable. I don't know if I was just in the mood for something like this.
Well, maybe after your dark angriness last week, maybe you need to make up for it.
Dark angriness. What was last week? What did we watch last week?
Last
Chinatown.
week was.
I like Chinatown.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. What I did was listen to Heat this morning. So
yeah.
I listened to what you were angry about Heat.
That was
so,
an unhappy
I'm
movie there for me.
Yeah, I know you were very angry, but in a good mood.
In a good mood, yes. I don't know. This movie, all the characters, they kind of seemed like caricatures of actual people, but I still liked how they interacted with each other. Like even the guy who might be considered one of the worst kind of people, the thief, scrounger guy. He comes through and helps the blind guy. All that stuff is so positive. Everyone seems so friendly with each other.
Oh, you mean Rockford File over there?
Is that Mr. Big
Rockford
Head,
Files.
Easter Island guy, whatever his name is?
Rockford Files.
Yeah.
P.I.
Did you recognize the guy who went blind? Or anything?
Not
No, he's somebody we should have recognized.
If you've ever seen the Halloween movie series,
No.
he's like the main doctor guy who is in every one of the Halloween movies.
Oh, weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought all the tunnel stuff looked really cool. It made me feel kind of claustrophobic. I thought I'm going to call him Charlton Heston now. Charlton Heston did a great job acting.
Good for you.
I thought he did a great job acting. Like when he was freaking out, I totally bought it. And there wasn't.
He didn't want to leave.
He didn't want to get trapped in the darkness, I think, or whatever.
Well, I think the tunnel was also his best achievement.
You think?
I mean, he pretty much built that thing on his own almost.
He did, yeah. But I mean, when the lights went out from the air raid and he's just started panicking, I was like, that was some
I'd be
very
freaking out
convincing
too.
acting right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird because stuff like that stood out because everything else, like Steve McQueen, I enjoyed him in this role, but he doesn't do anything in this movie, acting wise. I mean, he does the fucking motorcycle stunts, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Save for a couple of them.
That was he suggested. He wanted to do. Is there a motorcycle? No, Steve. There's not. There. We need a motorcycle.
Can we get one?
All right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. What the hell?
Well, he was pissed off because as they were making the movie, he realized that he wasn't in a lot of the movie. So then he complained and bitched and got the film production company had to hire another writer because the director didn't have time.
But this ended up this movie made him a star, though. Apparently, right? This was his big debut.
It was
not his debut, but this really launched him.
But I think it's so weird. Listening to people talk about why it made him a star. It's the character's attitude that made him a star, not so much Steve McQueen. And I don't know how much
his looks. I mean, just his. He's got these great blonde boyish looks, right? So
yeah. And that scene where he's ripping through the countryside on the hills on the motorcycle, I was like, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, that was
pretty cool. Except I just still don't understand. It'd be like, how could he lose his pursuers? I mean, a couple of times it's just and they're gone. But
and then they come back.
Yeah, and then they're back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's swarmed with Nazis. He's in Nazi territory.
Well, yeah, that's
Nazi.
why he shouldn't. Nazi?
Yeah.
That sounds.
Hachi the Nazi.
Surrounded with loyal ass dogs. Sorry, John. What were you saying?
Nothing worthwhile, I'm sure.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of notes saying this is making me feel very strangely towards the Nazi commander because he seemed kind of
sympathetic.
Yeah,
right?
he's sympathetic, and I mean, do you want that? And I'm sure there were people like that, but.
Yeah, that was something they also glossed over in terms of comparing with what really happened is that there were quite a few Nazi soldiers that were actually willingly aiding the prisoners to escape, providing them tools and whatnot, but they didn't show that in the film.
Were they doing it willingly or were they being tricked from people
they were happily, they wanted to help.
Well, I am kind of blown away by that. I thought all Nazis were shitheads. I didn't know.
Nah, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of people that are just just going
stuck.
along with things. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to rebel against your own country and be shot for it?
All your family
True.
and friends are also Nazis, and you'll have no one, and you'll be killed.
Right.
That sounds like a
Right.
bad idea.
I feel like doesn't that happen if you get caught giving them fucking tools?
Yeah, I think probably, maybe depending on like who hears about it, because like the Gestapo were the group that went around and they weren't like stationed anywhere centrally, but they
True.
enforced violent things in the different places. Like whenever they showed up, bad shit would happen, and then they'd go away, and then things would be cool for a bit. And even though they were controlled by Nazis, they were still like, all right, as long as they don't come around again, we might not die, you know?
Right. That's a good point.
But there wasn't enough fear. Like, I mean, there were some members of the Gestapo and some higher up people, I guess, that were supposedly portrayed in the movie that I didn't really understand those parts. Like when the Richard Attenborough person went to that leader
Right.
in the hall, and that scene was just confusing to me. Like, I didn't really understand why he thought he was going to be okay, why he was talking to Richard Attenborough's character at all in the first place, if he was just going to drive him to the hillside and like blow him and his company away.
This just show that they're in the hands of the really bad guys now.
But why do they have to know that? Because they're
so
going to
that
die.
the audience can know. I
Right,
mean,
but that's it.
It's to
That's
make
not a
you-
good thing.
No, but it's to give you that dread. You know.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't know they were going to be killed until they split off from the other trucks and drove into the field.
Mm.
Did you get anything from that scene, John, thinking that they were going to get killed afterwards?
Well, I thought they would get tortured or something. I thought they were in trouble at this point. And
Some
then,
kind of more punishment than just bring them back?
yeah.
Right?
And then
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
It seemed too crazy that you're like, oh, no, we're just going to put you back in the pen.
Yeah. Oh, you're going to
Yeah.
sit in the cooler for a bit, but here, take
Right.
whatever you want. You want like some crossword puzzles? Maybe a coloring
Yeah, we
book or
got,
two?
I don't know, maybe a baseball? You want
Yeah.
a baseball? We got baseball. A glove, too, if you want.
That's not annoying to the other prisoners in the cooler. Not at all.
That's
Probably
what I mean.
what
I'd
drove
be
that
yelling,
Scottish
shut up.
dude insane to like go kill himself on the wire.
Ah, that sucked.
Yeah.
That was gnarly.
I like that guy. I liked his voice. He seemed very happy.
He seemed like he was so happy to get out. He thought he was getting out, and then nothing.
Yeah. At least he died
Yeah.
doing what probably hurt a lot, climbing up barbed
What,
wire.
what were they drinking? They were drinking moonshine or something? What did they make?
They
there?
said it was moonshine, yeah.
Ah, okay.
Potato moonshine.
Some funny shit. Like, okay, yeah, guys, you're good. You're prisoners. Nah, you can make moonshine. You're fine. We're not going to do anything about that.
I was so proud to be an Irish person when like the tall guy and the Scottish guy found out that they were Irish together during the drinking, and
And
they
they
just started doing the little
dancing.
dance. I
Little
love the little
jig.
dance.
And then they started to sing, "Has anybody ever seen Kelly?"
Oh no! Fuck you, John. It's been out of my head for like months at this time.
K-E-double-L-Y, Denny. K-E-double-L-Y, Denny.
That means it's more in your head than it is in my head, John. So who's losing? Not me. Not me.
I had already lost, Denny.
Oh.
I'd already lost.
True. That's too true. But I wish I had a little dance where I'd see him like, oh, you're Irish too? All right, let's do this little jig.
And then you know it, and the other person knows it perfectly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
It was pretty funny.
it was pretty good.
Was it the fact that it was a war movie made it seem like it needed to be more than it was to be enjoyed properly? You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Say that. Start over.
I don't know how you do this with it not being a war movie, but was the fact that it's a war movie and you expect war movies to be heavy because so many of them have been, did
Right.
that kind of make it seem like you couldn't appreciate what it was trying
more
to
modern
do?
ones, especially. I think we've
maybe.
seen more modern war movies are a lot darker and grittier, right? We don't have very many war. I mean, maybe you can think of something like Three Kings or something where there's a lighter tone, but then they still have these really heavy moments. And
That's
even
mostly
this film,
pretty dark, I think. That
Well, like
one.
a Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Same
No humor
Nazis.
there.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
no
that's
fun.
like-
no baseball.
Right. There's
No baseball.
there's no happiness there, right?
But
no
you got
baseball,
Inglourious
right.
Bastards. There is baseball in that one, actually.
Well, right. there
Fucking,
you go.
that's right.
Yeah.
Was
That
it
is
Johnny
true. That's a good point.
Ballpark? So
Yeah.
what does he say?
Teddy ball game?
Teddy ball game.
Yeah.
There it is. Teddy
Knock it out of the
fucking
fucking
ball game.
park.
Fucking knock it out of the park, dude. Teddy fucking ball game. Yeah, that's true.
Well, that
They got
one's-
baseball.
Yeah, that one's weird though, because that movie is like everyone knows Inglourious Bastards is not a realistic movie because it changes history. But this one is like in the very beginning is like this is a completely true story, and then the next scene is like a fucking I don't know
No, they
silent
say some
movies
things
like
where-
slapstick thing where they're jumping off buildings into cars.
They say
I
some
know.
things were, like it wasn't perfectly true or whatever. There were no Americans, for example, in the actual Great Escape.
Mm-hmm.
So Steve, they just put some Americans in there to have that American appeal.
Obviously,
There
American
were a fair
movie.
number of Canadians that were ignored,
Well,
but
I mean, that's typical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were there Canadian actors back in the 60s?
You think if there was a Canadian, he'd be like, "Hey, you got a puck? Can I get a puck and a hockey stick? And when I go in the cooler, he's got a baseball.
He's going to juggle it on the hockey stick in the cooler.
That's right. Okay.
In his hockey gear.
I don't buy any of it. Hollywood augmented story about people in prison.
Yeah. I guess the movie does kind of, and I mean, I don't know, maybe it's a product of its time, but the movie does owe it to us, even though whatever they show us on screen might be completely true. It doesn't feel
true.
Like how it would happen.
It doesn't, Right.
Like it's inconceivable that it would be that chill.
Right.
Yeah.
Flaw in the movie. He had a stitched glove. Those things didn't exist in the 40s.
Oh,
shit.
Good data point. Didn't know that.
Also, those motorcycle types didn't exist during the war.
Very cool.
Really?
Very good info.
Yeah.
You mean the one that Steve wore? That he rode?
He wore it on his back.
He wore it
well. Man, he
Steve
made it look
McQueen
good,
played
too.
the motorcycle, and he had a German stunt guy on his back.
Yeah.
Wow.
So good of an actor he
Anyway,
is.
so they had those other motorcycles with the little sidecars, which were neat.
Nope.
Those didn't even exist?
So the sidecars did, but the motorcycles themselves didn't.
What'd they do? Pedal them? What?
Yeah, what was I was going to say the same thing, John. So what's the sidecar for then if they didn't exist?
Well,
What does it
I
go
mean,
on?
you can
whole
attach a
different kind
sidecar
of
to whatever the
motorcycle.
fuck you want. You could probably
Yeah, but
attach
what
it
else
to a
would there
regular
be?
car.
Yeah, you got to have a motorcycle. You got a sidecar, you got a
Yeah, what
motorcycle.
the fuck
else
was
you
your
gonna
I'm
have a
sidecar?
saying
Sidecar on a
motorcycles
car?
existed, but not that kind of motorcycle.
Well, I guess the name is sidecar.
Yeah.
I feel like
What?
neither of you are listening to me.
I'm not. No,
Well, it
I'm
doesn't seem
making
a big
jokes.
deal if it was some other kind of motorcycle that was there, but not that kind of motorcycle. That doesn't seem to be
Right.
that big a deal.
Well, fine. I'm just trying to point out all the flaws in this fucking movie. I'm the one who liked it over here. Jesus Christ.
Right.
I'm trying to give you some fuel for the fire.
4 cylinders, and all they had were 2 cylinders back then.
Look, Daddy, I don't know what you think a sidecar is, but I don't think that's what a sidecar
I don't think TC's listening to half of the words that I'm saying.
He's
Picking and
even
choosing. I understand, but
Yeah.
Why is the
but
sidecar
let's,
there still?
Let's back up to the sidecar. Okay.
I want to know
think
why
I'd buy it.
sidecars are now gone. Those things are sweet as hell.
Yeah, you don't see them.
Yeah.
But they're good for, sitting in with your sweet
They're
pointy
good
helmet.
for your sidekick. You put your sidekick in the sidecar.
You can fit an automatic machine gun in there, probably.
In the sidecar. Does he have a fucking baseball? That's all I want to know, folks.
Just a
I'm gonna
couple
just
of
say that
Nazis
the
riding
whole
around
time.
hitting baseballs
Because
at
honestly,
people.
I'm not gonna lie, that was bothering me the whole time. Like they gave him the fucking baseball again. What the fuck?
Yep.
What kind of prisoner guards are these? These guys are bums.
And they're allowed to bring their own clothes into the camp. They all have sweet leather jackets on.
Oh yeah, the
That's a good
clothing,
point, yeah.
it was great. They all look so great,
Just
all
out
their
of a Gap
jackets
ad
and everything.
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
everyone owned a comb at the very least.
You think first
For
thing
sure.
that happens when you're a prisoner is not the first thing to say, but you're usually given prison garb. There you go.
Garb.
Right.
There's so
Yeah,
many
that's
prisoners, maybe they couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I want to know
guess
how
not,
they got the. So they turned in the clothes from the guard uniforms. How are they getting
I
the
don't know.
guard
There's-
uniforms?
Oh, true. Yeah.
Well, they did have in the actual Great Escape, they had tailors. They had people working on that stuff. I don't know about the clothes, but for forging papers, that's another place where they got a lot of German help. So maybe they got help with the uniforms as well. I don't know.
Huh? Yeah. That makes
true.
Sense, maybe.
That would check out.
In the actual escape, the tunnel was so dirty and stuff, and they didn't want to dirty up their clothes. They were completely naked in the tunnel as they were escaping, and they would put their clothes on the other side.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, you don't want to get out there and be all dirty, and then you're not going to pass.
As a German.
And you're like, I'm
right.
going to work, and you're like, why are you covered in mud?
Yeah.
Another thing Andy Dufresne stole from this fucking movie.
Shawshank is just one big ripoff, man.
It is.
Wake
It
up,
is,
people.
man.
Wake
It
up.
is, man.
I don't know if I could handle digging that hole or even crawling through that hole.
No. Yeah, I would not want to be involved.
No.
Hey, you guys call me when you're done, huh? I'll be playing with the baseball.
That's true.
And don't you think
Dum, dum.
the commanding officer would be the last one to go? It's like the sinking
Oh
ship
yeah,
thing,
I was
right?
thinking that too. You
Yeah,
don't go
that's
first.
fair.
What's wrong
Yeah.
with you?
It's like, all right, chaps, I'm going to go first because I am a coward, and see you later.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I came up with this plan, and you all can wait behind me.
And Steve McQueen goes first for some reason. I guess because he sacrificed himself the most recently to
he went out there because he was the scout. That was his role too, though. He was going out there to, he ended
He
up
mapped
playing the
out
scout. I
like
don't know if that
the
was his
areas,
role.
right?
Right, but he went out there to be the scout because they had the air raid or whatever.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like right before the escape scene, he breaks out with wire cutters and then maps out the area around it, right? And then gets captured again.
He gets captured a bunch.
Well, he gets captured on
lived.
purpose so that he can go back and report.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So did he write that shit down, or was it all memorized? Like when he went out to scout where they should go, the train
apparently
stations and all
too,
that
something else that they left completely out of the movie. So his scouting trip, I don't know, something else that happened in the real escape was the soldiers, the POWs actually got maps and things through. Apparently, they were still getting mail, and stuff would get smuggled into them in terms of maps and tools.
They weren't
and
checking
stuff.
the mail.
But they wanted to leave that out of the film.
Laziest fucking set of Nazis I've ever heard.
And they knew these people were fucking rascals.
Yeah, I mean, they've already escaped 30 times. You're like, nah, you know what? I don't think they're going to do it again.
Oh, but he's got a letter from the U.S. Yeah, just give it to him. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, who cares? Hitler won't care. He's never even been here before.
No. Oh, shit, he's coming? All right. We're all dead.
Take the baseball. Yeah, movie does not make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's weird, right? Because, I mean, if you make a movie about something that's hard to believe and it's accurate, is that the movie's fault, or should you just not have made a movie about it?
That's a good question, Denny.
You enjoyed it, Denny. You're happy.
Oh, yeah, I really enjoyed it, but I had to throw, the first 10 minutes, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I had a note early on that, let me see what it was. I wrote, it's a silly war movie, ! And then the rest of the movie.
After, oh, no, it isn't good.
I enjoyed it. I was like, this is what this is. It's just silly movie.
Why couldn't you do that with Heat, Denny? It's a silly crime movie. Come on.
It's not silly at all.
It's
The movie fucking sucks.
It's good.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, I was laughing. I felt good during this movie. This movie was a feel-good war movie, which is weird.
Which is
everybody
weird.
either dies or
Very
gets recaptured. Nothing like mass murder at the end of your movie for that feel-good moment. Bring your kids.
Is it the music that keeps it so lighthearted the entire time?
Maybe, because I that was, to me, very, very jarring. Oh, he's trapped on the barbed wire, and then meanwhile, it's back to whistling music.
Yep. Whistle while you work.
Kind of similar to the Bridge on the River Kwai.
Oh, yeah. Definitely had that feel to it.
And also Prisoner Camp.
Which one came out first? To it. It's like, the blind guy just got shot. Meanwhile, back in the van, and it's just, it doesn't feel right.
Don't hold on to that part for too long. Meanwhile, we're going back to the other
he slipped
side.
up and spoke English. Now he's going to get mowed down by a machine gun.
That's right.
Thank you.
I just think of, I don't know, in terms of like the, and maybe it's what's interesting about this film, but if you imagine if this film was done with a lot more tension, then it might have been really powerful. You know, there were a lot of sacrifices that were made, and there was a lot of tragedy here. And
were you guys not tense during the escape?
Kind of not, really.
Really?
I know, but when they and I just wasn't. I wasn't along for the ride, and so even when they got shot, I was like, oh. I mean, because I was already I felt detached. I wasn't going along with it.
I was extremely tense when they were doing it because I mean, the way they filmed it was like linear. It was like one person at a time. They showed each person doing it. They showed the individual characters kind of like freaking out. You got like the Charlton Heston character running backwards into the
Bronson
Heston trying to like escape, but then like being talked down as other people were trying to deal with his shit. Then the air raid came, and then like the rope situation was cool. I thought it all played out pretty realistically when the lights came back on and Steve McQueen's like, back to the rope, and just like ran away. Like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. Like they're doing what would, it seemed, that whole part seemed pretty realistic. And the fucking guy tripping on his goddamn suitcase, maybe like smack my forehead and just go, no.
Oh, I know. And
no.
The white suitcase.
Yeah.
The whitest suitcase you could get.
Painted
we're gonna
black,
go at night.
man.
Yeah, let's get the white suitcase.
And it wasn't even a suitcase. He had to like carry it with two hands. It looked like a fucking big Christmas package.
Plus, when he was laying there, wasn't he like 3 feet from the Nazi?
The Nazi passed him at one point, right? Because he was so close.
I can't see, but yet we can see both. So,
well,
I ain't buy it.
I mean, that's just movies for you.
Lots of not buying it over on this side of things.
Yeah, totally understandable. But you always knew what they were going for, at least, right, TC? It was straightforward enough where you could, understand what they were going for.
They're trying to ignore the fact that Nazis were pricks.
Yeah. I guess this is the kind of war movie you can show to a kid. That's a plus. It's like, see here, Billy, it's not too bad when you're captured.
See what happens, see?
We're about to get to some, I think in 3 movies, we're going to watch some real World War II horrible shit.
Ooh, what's that one?
Der Untergang.
Oh, never heard of it.
Downfall?
Yep. We will be watching that one soon.
It is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, we have a couple of light ones. I'm loving these light ones, man. Maybe I'm just getting sick of the heavy ones. Fucking heat with this fake heaviness. Oh, we're being so serious. We got to escape.
Right.
Give me all you got. Give me all you got. Fucking.
Yeah.
Give me all you got. Oh, I'm getting tired of yelling anymore. Come on, give me all you got. Give me all you got. All right,
I like tired Al Pacino.
Yeah. Give me all you got.
Yeah. Woo.
Pacino. Whoa.
That was good. Yeah.
I don't know what else I got. Here, let me see what I got in my notes here. If you had
John Sturges
a choice,
has directed like over 44 films.
That's an interesting fact. John, if you had a choice of
just coming back with a fact,
guaranteeing,
I know something.
If you had a choice of guaranteeing not dying in one way, what would you pick? I think I'd pick being buried alive in a pile of dirt. That's my number one. I'd rather burn to fucking death or drown than be buried alive in a pile of fucking dirt.
I thought you were picking being buried alive.
No,
that's one of my biggest fears.
The one I don't want is that one.
Okay, copy.
Be buried alive. Yeah, buried alive seems pretty bad.
Buried alive of drowning.
Drowning, like it would not last as long.
Yeah. I think even like buried alive or like crushed beneath like some building where you're like just slowly starved to death, but you can't move.
Oh, geez.
So buried alive you'll eventually suffocate like that.
I think if you're crushed enough underneath a building like that, you're probably bleeding too.
Maybe. Well, what if you don't bleed? Let's just say you're crushed,
Let's just say you're
but not
perfectly
bleeding.
smushed and stuck.
All the blood stays
you can't move.
And all of your arms and legs are pinned. You're just like,
it's really the grape escape, but in human form.
But you're not allowed to reform your character and start
full
over.
circle.
Right, you
TC.
can't start over the board. You know, you're kind of done. Your grape is smashed.
Dude, I worry sometimes. I play so many violent video games that when I'm actually dying, I'm going to think, at least I get another. Oh, shit, I don't have another life. No. And then I die.
Yeah,
That's my last thought. It's about video games.
That's my last life.
Hopefully,
no
it would just be
shield.
clicking
No
the
shield.
morphine button. You know,
No shield. Healing potion. No, you don't have any healing
What were
potions
his
left.
last words, Mommy? Well, it's not going to make any sense to you, kid.
I'm all out of shields. Death.
and that's it.
Yeah.
And then
Just
then
put
you're
that
gone.
on your tombstone. Here lies Denny, out of shields.
Just a health bar,
That's a
and
good
it's
one.
like 0 out of 100.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's actually a really good one.
I thought there were a bunch of really good stunts in this movie. The motorcycle one being the most obvious, but like
Yeah.
there were a couple parts where people were really getting beaten up. Like Steve McQueen actually jumped and body slammed like a Nazi at one point, and then got hit in the stomach with a rifle, and all that shit looked like it was happening. And according to the commentary, it really did happen. They just like beat each other up. There was the one where
This was the post on the waterfront where you could smack people around.
Yeah, they learned it was okay.
Isn't that crazy that like you just would get beat up back then? Now they get, they outfit you with like things that break your fall that are.
Well, it
hard
depends
to
on who.
get
I
hit,
mean,
like-
there are some directors that do that type of shit, like Paul Thomas.
Well, yeah.
Paul Thomas
Right.
Anderson's really good at doing that. Like in There Will Be Blood, he beats the shit out of Eli.
Yep. You work for me, you're going to really get beat up.
And like in The
Yeah,
Master
I mean-
too, Joaquin Phoenix beats the shit out of some guy while taking his picture, and that part is awesome. Can't fake that shit.
Well, they can put little like plastic plates under your shirt and stuff so that it doesn't hurt when you get hit. Looks like you get hit.
Right,
Oh,
but if
well,
you're
it
really,
doesn't
I mean,
hurt.
you still have to really go
No, I know, but
beyond
I
a
feel like
comfortable
back
level.
in the day, they didn't have any of that shit. They were just like, nah, fuck it, hit them.
It's because people were like stunt people back then. I mean, we still
Yeah, they
have those
probably
people
still
now.
had stunt people, yeah. But I just don't know if the technologies were the same. Who knows?
Right.
I don't know either way, so it could be.
No,
right or
you're
wrong.
definitely right. I mean, they had that one shot where one of the motorcycles with the sidecars like drives into a fence and then off a ditch. The guy in the sidecar went immediately to the hospital afterwards.
And that's when they banned sidecars.
Yeah, it wasn't because of the war. It was because of this fucking movie.
No. These things fucking, they're not safe. Look at this. It's attached.
He was a squeaky little wheel, and they greased it. They greased it all.
And they fixed the glitch.
Yes, they did. Like the guy jumping through the beds, even that kind of shit. Like when they removed
Oh,
the
that one looked like it hurt.
Yeah,
honestly. I mean,
he fell like
really,
10
that
feet to
one-
the ground.
Yeah, that definitely looked like it hurt.
But he like
I'm
bounced
sorry.
back and continued acting after he did it.
Right?
Yeah,
Bro.
I liked all
Pro
that
City.
stuff. I thought the part that was the most unbelievable. How about this? What part of the movie did you guys think was the most unbelievable? Did you go like, no fucking way? Like out of everything else, was there one or no?
I was saying it a lot, but trying to pinpoint one.
Flying a U.S. flag in a Nazi camp?
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Well,
no
you're
way.
like, I mean, that was like strange that they were like letting everybody drink and everything too, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like flying the flag.
Yeah, that seems
that is not
like
that would not be okay.
Hey, all right.
It's like, hey, we're supposed to be Nazis here. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
I gave you the baseball. Why you do this? That wasn't very German. I'm not good at the German. That was like a mix between Spanish and German. Not quite the same.
It was. Well,
it sounded more like a vampire.
The German accents in this film were really all over the place.
They were all
Sometimes
Germans.
they were, yeah.
Well, what?
They were all Germans.
Were they?
Dude. Everybody
Were they
who
all
played
German?
a German person was a German.
Because it seemed like the German accents were kind of strange.
Maybe the German accents you're used to are actually the Hollywood ones that are fake.
You might be right.
Boom.
I have been brainwashed, and now I see the light.
They actually got away with the same thing that On the Waterfront got away with. Since they had the movie not filmed in the Hollywood area, they didn't have to follow the Extras Guild rules because Germany doesn't have that shit either. So the fact that they had, actually, it was like a bunch of like university students from a college nearby that played all of the German soldiers.
But But the lead Germans didn't. I don't know. Just the way people were talked. I mean, I don't know. I thought some of the accents seemed very strange.
Again, with the that is a legit concern because I have notes on that too, John. But you're wrong. Just like wrong. The fact that you think this movie didn't happen, but you'd be wrong.
It did.
You're wrong.
Well, I know. Yeah. I knew it happened.
I didn't.
I just didn't know they were so good looking and clean cut and happy the whole time.
And so damn
you could
handsome.
You could tell me the truth. You could even read me the story, and I would go, nope, didn't happen. I was just gonna spite it just because.
But it says true story right here. Yeah, they're probably lying.
Yeah, they're lying. I don't buy it.
I don't buy it. I'm not putting that in my head as a true thing.
Like John said, they're at least not as good looking in real life.
Yeah. I kind of did like the variety of people.
Yeah.
I mean, there were definitely too many good-looking people to make it, I don't know. Who the fuck knows? I mean, people who survive war are probably better looking than everyone else because, I mean, that whole thing is kind of the survival of the fittest. I don't know. Am I talking crazy? I feel like war heroes are usually pretty good looking. They're not like the shrimpy, ugly, short ones. They're like, I killed a million Nazis.
True.
I don't even know. I don't even want to. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Don't touch that one. Okay.
Stay away from that one.
Probably not.
Well, at least the ones that would survive would be the strong ones.
Typically they're attractive.
Heroes are typically the best looking people.
People who do good things, they look good. Yeah,
I mean,
you don't have short people doing good things. God,
right.
or
noses.
No. Don't get me started on noses.
Bald,
dude, on the line. You have the strongest people are most likely to survive. And strength is attractive to people.
Still
Maybe
be
you got the little guy
mugs.
that nobody can see. Sniper, good eyes.
Ooh,
yeah, but you're not catching a sniper, dude. These are all like infantrymen. They have, I think.
So you're saying they're dumb?
I have not studied real life war heroes, so I do not.
How much more offensive can we get?
I have no comment on this stuff.
I don't know. Probably a lot more offensive, but we should
probably.
Try.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Oh, you're a war hero? Oh, you don't look like one. He's not very pretty.
Hey, yeah, you don't seem like one. You're pretty ugly, dude. I'm not going to lie.
Sorry. It's one of the requirements, is to be rather rugged and handsome. And you're sorry, buddy. You're a little short. Yeah, it looks like, is that your spine crooked? Your spine's crooked. You're not a war hero. Come on.
Hey, crooked spine people can't go to war, John. So what the hell are you talking about?
Just a little tilt, right? There you go. See, there you are.
So am I right? I'm so confused.
I don't
know where you're going.
Did you argue yourself into a circle back on my side, John? Is that what just happened?
Maybe I went too far on what sort of disability the person might have. It was a slight crooked spine. It wasn't quite. It was a
broken pinky.
It was
what I meant to say.
Amount of spine crooked.
Not enough to be diagnosable as a medical condition that keeps you out, but it wouldn't make you a Hollywood star.
But he might limp, and then.
What about
not getting it?
Hey, Dr. John, I got a question for you, Dr. John.
Dr. John.
What?
I got a Dr. John corner over here. Question for you.
What's that? Ask Dr. John. Yes, come in. What brings you here today?
I have a question about this movie, Dr. John. Can you go immediately blind?
The thing that they're suggesting, which is that he goes blind because he looked too hard at, as he was making these forged documents, is kind of a weird thing and not true. But there's conditions where you can go rapidly blind.
Is it that rapidly where you can just like talk to yourself and be like, I can see everything. Wait, nope, it's blurry and I'm blind.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Took him like 5
I think
seconds.
that does happen.
But then it's like
How
some kind of
scary is
serious
that?
brain injury or something.
Yeah, because I got a family member on the, cousin side or something, old guy, who's definitely lost his sight within like a year, and it just got worse fast.
That's pretty bad. But it's not, 5 seconds would be fucking terrifying.
5 seconds seems a little excessive. Not gonna lie.
But it's really bad. If you have that means like some brain damage or retina damage or something.
Is happening.
Which means you're
Yeah.
going to die soon anyway?
It just means something very bad happened, and you should go get that checked out.
I think if you lost your eyesight, you go to the doctor pretty immediately.
Yeah, you would. Well,
You would think.
somebody would have to
Or
help
get someone to
you,
help you, yeah. Oh.
Hey.
I think that him pretending to be blind or pretending not to be blind was fucking hilarious. They're like, "Are you blind?" And he's like, "No, I can see.
No, I can see this
that
pin.
pin." You're
over
like,
here.
"You're acting very blind right now," and like, it's not one of the things that you're suspecting people to pretend not to be ever in your entire life. So he must have been
No, I'm
acting
not
pretty
blind.
damn
No.
blind.
Yeah.
No, I'm not blind, sir.
But you seem blind. I think so. All the tests they gave was like, "Oh, I see this pin." And I'll just go like, "Look me in the eye." You're not looking me in the eye. You can't fucking see
Yeah.
anything.
Do you even know where I am?
Yeah.
Because you don't seem like it.
All right, point to my nose. Nope. No, you're blind, dude. Easy
You're
test.
definitely blind.
Yeah.
Yep, can't go. Sorry, gotta stay here.
Although you guys hated the baseball glove, I really like the baseball glove.
Good for you. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I mean, it was kind of at a very easy to detect sense that it was like every time he did it, it wouldn't get to him. Like his character wasn't necessarily the best at anything. He kept getting caught. He almost got killed in the first 5 minutes of being at the camp. But like his determination and like not being brought down by the situation was kind of, feel good.
Yep.
To add it to the pile.
Such a feel-good.
Rockford Files tried to help him out.
Who's this Rockford Files guy?
Gardner.
He's the guy, the blind leading Rockford Files.
You know the Rockford Files
Ex-con
theme song? You have to look it up.
Private
It'll
Eye.
stick in your head for a
Oh,
while.
is that the guy?
Yeah, it's James Garner, isn't that? The Rockford Files?
Oh, that's the guy, all right.
Dude, nice fucking hair. He has the same hair in all of his shit, apparently.
Yeah, he's got like anime hair.
It's more like Ace
Well,
Ventura hair or
It doesn't
something.
stick up as much, but it's just like, poop. It's just there.
Jimmy Rockford.
If it was
what a
longer,
guy.
it would be anime hand. But
What a guy.
I think that's it for the movie, you guys.
okay.
I got some commentary, though.
Oh,
Some commentary.
there's more. Wait.
Of course
But
there's
yet-
more.
There's more.
Who was on the commentary, Denny?
So this commentary had fucking everybody on it because it wasn't typical commentary. It had a host who wrote a book about the movie, which is never great. But all he did was host a bunch of clips.
He wrote a book about the movie that was based on a book.
Yes, about a thing that happened. Correct.
Once.
But all he did was host it. And by hosting, he pretty much introduced like segments of interviews from like all the actors, producers, writers, stunt doubles, director, like, everybody involved in this movie pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was kind of cool. I wouldn't recommend, I don't know. For you two, if you don't like this movie, don't listen to it. But if you do, you might like it. I don't know. It wasn't like awesome, but there was some pretty cool stuff. And they talked a lot about everything. Not a lot of it was super interesting, so I'm going to skip over a lot of it, but there was some good stuff. This film was shut down for days at a time during the filming because the director was also the writer, and they wanted to adjust the script. And they somehow could afford to just put production on hold for days at a time as they worked on the script. And no one else they weren't getting footage. He sent the actors off and all the crew off to take like little tours around Europe during those days, which was awesome for the crew. And everyone was in a great mood during the filming because they had little vacations around Europe. Not only because of that, but because it was such the ensemble piece part of it made it so, you're going to film this one scene between these two characters for a week. Everyone else travel around Europe.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And people would party too. Steve McQueen got his license taken away in Germany because he was speeding so much, like frequently speeding, and they got pulled over all the time. And eventually the German police was like, I don't care who you are, you can't drive anymore. No license for you.
Do you think he still had the glove in real life when he's getting pulled over? He's like, yeah, but I can't go in without the glove, dude. And the baseball.
He is intimidating the police officer by playing catch with himself in the passenger or the driver's seat of the car.
Oh, he's playing catch, all right.
The guy who played the Scrounger, I guess John just said his name. I don't know who he is, but what's his name? Rockford Files?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a Scrounger in the Korean War.
Oh, really? He actually was a scoundrel.
He was, yes.
Wow.
But he was never in prison camps. But he was at like same side bases getting people things they needed.
That's
So
kind of cool.
He had some experience there. Somebody was quoted in the commentary. It was pretty funny. John Sturges, the director, writer, editor, is, quote, a man's man. He set the feminist movement back 100 years just by saying hello.
Okay. Yeah, that's
not good.
All right, right? I mean, what? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I just think I think he's just I have a hard time kind of understanding that too, but I kind of see him as the kind of like, I don't know, like
not a single woman in this film, by the way.
Yeah, and the studio kept trying to add them but not in good ways. They'd like, all right, how about this character dies, but he dies in the lap of this really attractive German woman with a shortcut dress, and he's like, fuck no.
Well,
so they weren't going for anything better than having no women at all. They wanted like sexualized women.
Where's the sex? Right.
But I mean, we've talked about this too with other all male movies. They were afraid back then that all male movies would only attract men. But this movie plays really well with women too. I don't know why you would think that it wouldn't. I mean, you got Steve McQueen in here.
Right.
They're gonna want to see him.
Yeah. Right. As strapping young lads.
Yeah.
They had the actual tunneler, like the guy who built the tunnel, on the set for a year as they made this movie, like during the production for a year, to tell them exactly how it was done. He influenced the set of the tunnel. He told them exactly how they would build it.
And he actually had claustrophobia. Like the actual tunneler couldn't go because he couldn't handle it, right?
I mean, he did go, but he did have claustrophobia.
Oh, did he go? I don't remember. There was one guy that stayed behind, I thought, that because he was just too freaked out.
No, because then he says, like, you go first, and then he shows up.
I didn't read that. That's possible, but he did have claustrophobia. And also, Charlton Heston has claustrophobia too. He used to be a coal miner, and he had frequent claustrophobia, so he channeled that fear into the role. Steve McQueen was friends with Frank Sinatra. He was a crazy partier person, and Frank Sinatra once in his dressing room, in Steve McQueen's dressing room, set off a firecracker to be like, hey, it's Frank Sinatra. Steve McQueen set off 3 and blew up his dressing room. Caught on fire and like burned down a bunch of trailers around his.
Oh, that's great.
Wow.
And that type of thing. And I'm sure that would help now too, but that made him more famous. Like even before he was in this movie, that just, made headlines. And you're like, ooh, who's this Steve McQueen guy? He's a wild guy.
Wow.
Wild guy, guys.
Wild guy.
Attenborough. Mr. Attenborough is in this movie. Did you recognize him?
I don't know.
John Hammond from Jurassic Park.
About this last week.
That's the Jurassic Park guy.
Yeah. Who is he in this movie?
No, that's the guy who narrates all the nature videos.
That's David
David Attenborough.
I know, but I still like the idea of that. Here we're going to name the tunnels Dom, Dick, and Harry.
And as you can see,
as we
the wheels turn in a circular pattern.
Yes. We shall all probably be killed, but we
look
shall
out for the small spot within the coal mine.
I'm so
good.
lost.
Yeah,
I can't do it. You didn't recognize
I did not
him.
notice Richard Attenborough.
I didn't either, man.
Where was he?
He was Bartlett.
He was X. He was Russell Crowe.
Yeah, he was the guy that John thinks was Russell Crowe, but looks nothing like Russell Crowe. He was the leader of the prisoners, pretty much, like the he was British.
No way.
I'm gonna have Google prove me right here.
That was him?
He had like a scar underneath his right eye,
or like a vein or something. It was weird looking.
That's him. Yeah.
What?
I didn't recognize him at all.
I didn't recognize him at all.
That was like an injury or something for him?
I mean, they're all at war. I assume it was like a grenade. Shrapnel got him right in the face, maybe. I don't know. Bullet skinned him right in the eye. Zoop. Is that not good enough for you, John?
Good enough.
Good enough. The real escape was during the wintertime, which is why most of them got caught, because there was feet of snow and they were cold.
Oh,
yeah, they didn't
so they had to stick to the roads.
And they were uncomfortable.
Yes, they were quite wet and cold.
Oh, man.
And they had to stick to the roads because of the snow. And they were just all picked up on the roads.
So in the movie, then they did it in the summer, and that was like a whole different
nice weather.
thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's impossible to film snow, right? I mean, some movies do it, but it's probably the main focus of production when you do that.
Snow.
Because, I mean, I
want to wash my hands in snow. You've heard that song, right? Come on.
Is that
no,
Frozen?
I do not know
it's
what
an
you're talking
old
about.
50s song about snow during it's a Christmas song, really.
You want to wash your hands in snow? I don't know.
It's like I want to wash my hands and face in snow is I think what it is.
Yeah, it's the water doesn't work and we can't afford anything else.
Yeah,
it sounds painful.
Yeah.
The train that they were on towards the end, they actually shot it on a train that was moving around, which is kind of cool.
That was an amazing looking train. I mean, just full steam engine.
It was.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
The jump out of the train also would fucking hurt, no matter who you are.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Especially if you're blind. You
Yeah,
didn't
that
see it
would also
coming.
Yeah.
be bad.
I'd be
I
like,
mean-
all right, dude, let me go first. And when I'm about to hit the ground, yell ground, all right?
I like the idea. It's like, just push me. Just fucking do it. I'm not going to be able to do this.
I loved that guy's attitude the entire time. He wasn't like, are you sure about this? He's like, dude, I'm lucky as fuck to be taken out right now. I'm just doing exactly what he says and trust this guy 100%.
Which is fair.
Yeah, he's like, all right, twist the thing and don't move or you'll get a mouthful full of propeller. And he's like, all right, I'll do that exact thing.
Good. Gotcha.
And I'll stand here very properly with no expression on my face, waiting for you to pull me into the plane. I am very appreciative. Thank you very much for dragging me around. That plane crash was real. They had a real pilot crash the plane into the trees, and he was inside the plane when it happened.
Damn.
And that was planned.
Jesus.
Guess how much that plane cost?
15 grand, 20 grand. I don't know.
$4 million budget for this movie.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so way more than
that's been
that.
a lot for the time.
So how much?
$250.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You could
So
get
it was
a plane
like-
back then? 250?
Yeah. He was like, yeah, you could tell like he fucked up the crash into the trees. It was supposed to go differently. They ended up, he's like, if you look really closely, the shots don't match of like where the plane is going between when it crashes into the trees and when it like goes into the ditch.
Right.
I didn't notice it because the editing was so fast, but he's like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
this is
didn't
this
either.
guy's life. Like he was the guy in the plane. He's like, yeah, you can tell it doesn't really match. But I mean, he fucking crashed the plane into the thing and it was a $250 piece of shit plane. So that guy's pretty damn brave or stupid. Probably both.
Loves a good payout.
Yeah. Well, probably paid him more
much
than
did they give
they
him?
bought with him. You know, it's like, all right, you can get $1,000 and we'll get $1,000 plane, or you can get $1,750 in a $250 plane.
I'll take the 250.
Yeah.
plane.
Okay.
Can we get a $100 plane? Nope, doesn't exist.
Go
All
any
right.
lower than this? Yeah. Yeah.
The only stunt that Steve didn't do was the actual jump over the fence, the barbed wire fence.
Oh, that shit looked pretty tight, actually. I'm not going
And
to lie.
it was his buddy, who was also a motorcycle enthusiast. And they were like, according to people in the commentary, Steve and this guy, Buddy Egan, were very close in their skills and motorcycles. And Steve attempted doing it without, like, you know, off camera and crashed. He was fine. But yeah, I mean, he was able to at least have the balls enough to like get fast enough and jump to get over it, which looked, you know, that looks like you need some skill to do that. And the barbed wire during the entire shoot of this movie, whenever actors were still on set and they weren't doing something actively in front of the camera or anything, John Sturges, the director, would have them tie a bunch of black rubber tubes together at certain lengths. And this went on for the entire production of the movie, which was like, the shoot was like 100 plus days. By the end of it, that entire length of barbed wire in that shot where Steve McQueen like rolls into the barbed wire, it's all black plastic tubing, and the barbed wire
made by
parts
the
are where they're
cast.
tied together. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
So it's like 3 miles of tubing back and forth.
Holy shit.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think the last piece of trivia they had were the executions didn't happen all 50 at once. They happened 1 or 2 at a time.
Right.
And the
So
people,
it wasn't in Moss, but it was more like, but they did the same thing, right? They were like, hey, yeah, why don't you guys take a break, go take a leak or something, and then they'd shoot him.
well, at least
Shit.
they didn't see it coming. Got to appreciate that at least. But also the people who performed those executions were later convicted of war crimes and executed themselves.
Quite a few of them, right?
That's a
quite
that's
a
a
large
bum
number of
rap,
people.
huh?
You think?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you would never have thought that when you were executing people. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm good. I'm the one taking care of this.
Yeah.
I'm in charge here.
I
Got it.
I
I'm
wonder if it's
good.
like I'm back to haunt me. No. It's like I'm good. I'm killing them.
It's in the
We're
past.
solid.
You can't blame me for what I did in the past.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
You guys have anything else in this movie?
Nah, you've covered a lot.
No, it's a movie I probably won't
I'm
bother to
glad
watch
you enjoyed
again.
it.
I'm also glad I enjoyed it. I'm glad one of us enjoys things when that
Oh, yeah.
happens.
I'm a negative Nancy. You know,
It's
what are
true.
you gonna do?
I mean, I didn't actively hate it either, but I just
Yeah,
didn't,
me.
I didn't go along with it. I just didn't.
And I could totally
into it.
see
And I was-
why, like, you know, that'd be easy to do. And not like that was a bad thing. I just was lucky enough
Yeah.
where I'm in the friggin' perfect mood to accept such a weird,
Right.
silly movie.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
that.
fair enough.
Yeah, we'll end at that.
Well, would you put it in the top 250?
No.
No, would you, Denny?
No.
Oh, come on, no, it's a miss.
All right.
I think I
So
would
you
recommend-
can like a movie and not want it in the top 2.
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
a
what
bad
did
thing.
this do? It didn't like revolutionize anything. It
Yeah.
had some cool stunts. It like told a true story, and it had some okay acting every once in a while. But
Fair enough.
I don't know. It seemed kind of inconsequential. It was extremely enjoyable. It wasn't very realistic. I'm surprised it's on the list a little bit, but not really.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to not. I mean, I don't see anyone hating this movie.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be hard to
really?
full tilt hate this movie.
It does.
Like,
it is long.
with a
I mean,
passion.
you might hate it just because, man, it's long.
Did it feel long though?
Yeah, felt long to me.
Yeah.
I was looking at it and it's like, oh, they escaped and there's 40 minutes left.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it has to show each individual person. It keeps like editing.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, he's on a bike and now he's on a boat and now they're on a plane and now they're getting shot
Now he's
and
dead.
now they're on the ground and
that's
now he's in the
right.
train and now they're getting shot and now they're running away. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that sums it right up. You should have
Yeah.
just started with that. We
Right.
could have wrapped up.
Yeah. I don't know. Timmy, you got anything on this one?
No.
oh,
Okay.
well, maybe next week.
I like fucking baseball, John.
Yeah. Well, when you get in your own lockup, Timmy, we'll try to make sure because you're sooner or later you're heading there.
Oh,
We
Timmy's
know.
on his way. Oh,
Yeah,
for
I know.
sure.
We know.
Yeah.
We'll try to make sure you have your own glove in baseball.
If
Timmy.
I ever get locked up, I should just go right into Timmy the whole time. Just go, hey,
Hey, what's up, everybody? Fuck, how you doing, dude? How you
They
going?
would
Yeah, no,
kill
I'm
you.
Timmy. I'm Timmy. How you doing? Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, fuck you too, guy.
and just like always talk in that voice.
you
Yeah,
would
I'd
make
be
you
done.
would make it 2 days and they would murder you in your sleep.
Yeah, he found his way out of jail.
Yeah,
and he
no.
just talked like a lunatic,
They're
and
like, let him go.
they killed him.
Parole.
Yeah.
Let him go.
Yeah, let
Get
him
him
go.
away from us, please.
He died when he did Loving, which was annoy us all in that crazy
Annoying
fucking
the
voice.
shit out of everybody in the Timmy voice. Yeah, exactly. The buckler.
Yeah, Mr.
Oh,
Buckles.
Yep.
Next week, we are watching a lighthearted one again. Yes. Inside Out, 2015.
All right.
Yeah.
Pixar.
Pete Docter and Ronnie Del Carmen, co-director, I guess. I don't know. After young Riley is uprooted from her Midwest life and moved to San Francisco, her emotions, joy, fear, anger, disgust, and
Oh,
sadness
that
conflict.
shithole.
Oh,
Amy
man, San
Poehler,
Francisco.
huh?
I have a lot to
Yeah,
say
that
about this
poop.
place.
That poop infested
Oh,
shithole.
so much poop around here. Conflict on how to best to navigate a new city.
I mean, I
house,
meant it
and
literally.
school.
It's not like you're saying it, I didn't mean figuratively. I meant literally.
It's
right?
actually a shithole. A
Oh,
hole
man.
of shit, if you will.
Dude, it smells like poop all the time, everywhere. And you can see it.
Oh, you can see it?
You can see
Oh,
it.
yeah,
in
that's why
Boston,
they're
you never-
mapping it out.
Boston, you'd smell it, but you wouldn't see it.
Oh, you see it, dude. It's
that's
fucking everywhere.
terrible.
It's a
Just
disgusting
taking
city.
a deuce. It is kind of a disgusting city now.
Yeah.
I mean, but maybe it always was. I don't know. But
Everyone here says it's, I mean, I've only been here for a year and a half. Everyone here is like, it's getting really fucking bad. Like,
can you believe it's a year and a half already? Holy
I know.
shit, man.
Wow.
time's flying by. Woo!
Flying by.
On this ride. But yeah, let's watch a kids movie next week. It sounds good to me.
All right.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen this
Yeah.
one, TC?
No, I don't think so. I just
Oh,
don't
interesting.
remember it.
In for a treat. Sweet. All right. I'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah.
All right.
See you guys next week.